Welcome back to the channel, and I have got some new game stuff, some new gaming related items that I wanted to show on video today, spanning from some new Switch games all the way to some new figures and even to a new video game vinyl record. So, we're going to walk through some of the new buys I picked up lately, just talk about them, why I bought them, what I like about them, and maybe you'll find something you're interested in as well. So let's start with some new game pickups. And I've got some new Switch games here that I've been picking up. I'm trying to fill in my collection a little bit. You can see it back here. And games are getting really cheap these days for the Switch. And I've still got, a pretty sizable list of games I want to pick up for the Switch before it's all said and done. So I'm starting to execute my plan here and pick up games where I can find them while they're cheap. So let's start with the first one, which is none other than Celeste. And this is a game I'm currently playing now. It's really a platformer, an indie game. And I heard a lot about this released by Fangamer, this edition here. And a lot of people have told me about Celeste. A lot of people love the game. And I completely understand why, because it is a very charming game. From the moment you start at the bottom of the mountain, it just has a lot of charm, love put into the game. And you can really feel that by the developers. So the goal of the game is really to scale a mountain, and you do that by jumping, platforming through the levels, boosting, collecting items, that type of thing. So nothing too unique really there. It's just very tight controls, very tight gameplay, and a lot of fun. And there's a lot of interesting characters, some interesting dialogue there. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. I mean, you can definitely tell it's an indie game. This isn't, a AAA huge budget game. But for what you're going to get, it is definitely a lot of fun. And again, there's a lot of charm there, a lot of personality is maybe the best way I could put it. And I'm really enjoying it. It has a retro feel to it and a good addition to the collection. So, would recommend Celeste if you haven't played it. I'm not done the game yet. I've still got a lot to do, a lot to unlock, but it's good. I'm having fun so far. So, I'm going to continue on with Celeste. Next up, I gotta say, I do enjoy playing some pinball games once in a while. I grew up in the old school days on a PC where you'd have those old school PC pinball games, and I have had no pinball games for the Switch, and I plan on getting a couple just to fill that gap in my ongoing collection here. So I did some research, what do people say is the best pinball game? And maybe you know what it is, but the one that I came out to was Demon's Tilt. So Demon's Tilt here, a pinball game that is kind of, I don't know how to put it, demon themed, dark themed, monster themed, maybe is a good way to put it. And I haven't really played it yet. I've seen a lot of footage planning to get to this. Came with the sleeve here, which is pretty cool. But Demon's Tilt is one that always seems to get recommended if you're into pinball games. This one was released by Limited Run, I believe. And just really looking forward to playing this. I'm going to be doing some traveling soon, so this is one I'm going to be bringing with me on the airplane just to play when I have some time in between doing some other stuff. So, really looking forward to Demon's Tilt, and I'm still looking to get maybe one or two other pinball games on the Switch. Let me know if you know any other good ones. The other one I've been looking for, trying to get it cheap, is Star Wars Pinball, but that's one I'll have to get next. So, want to get at least a couple pinball games. And last, taking it retro here, this one's been on my radar for a long time, and I have a lot of these games physically, but I had to get the Sega Genesis collection here on the Switch again because just so many classic games here, over 50 classic games, as it says on the cover. And I have a lot of these games today physically still from my collection from when I grew up. I had a Sega Genesis and I had a lot of the classic games, Shinobi, Altered Beast, Sonic, all that great stuff. But there's a couple games on here that I never had that I never played. And the ones that I want to play the most are some of the Fantasy Star games, RPGs. And growing up, I didn't even know Sega Genesis had RPGs like that. Like I was completely oblivious. I didn't have the internet knowledge to figure that out or magazines or word of mouth. It just never made its way to me to even know those type of games existed. I was pretty young when the Genesis was out, so I had a few RPGs on the Super Nintendo, but never the Genesis. And I've always heard the Fantasy Star games, at least a couple of them in the series, are really good. So that's why I wanted to pick this up to play those. And then it also has some of my favorite games, other classics on here. Again, Sonic games, Shinobi games, and also Golden Axe. Golden Axe is another one of my favorite series on the Genesis. So this was an easy buy. So those are the recent edition Switch games I've picked up. And why not? Games are pretty cheap now for the Switch. So time to fill in some of that empty space on the shelf. But I want to talk about a few figures as well I picked up. And I'm saving the big guns for last here. The vinyl record, I think you're going to like this because it is an awesome record from an awesome game. But let's talk about some of the figures. And the first ones I got here, I'm gonna hold these up. And I would be like really surprised if people are even able to recognize what these are. And I'll try to bring them into focus here if I can. How's that? So, do you recognize these figures? I will give you some time. Now, if you don't know, this is Sarah Bryant here, and this is Akira Yuki, I believe. And these are from maybe a not so popular fighting game, which is Virtua Fighter. And I have a bit of a history with Virtua Fighter because I actually had the first and second game on the Sega Saturn. And I loved those games growing up playing them. And I don't think people are too fond of them today. I don't think a lot of people love them. Maybe I'm wrong. But to me, when you're growing up, you learn to love the games you have a lot of time. And they were the first 3D fighting games I owned. So I had a lot of 2D fighters before that, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat games. And I love those games as well, but there was something special for me about Virtual Fighter 2 on the Sega Saturn. Just the look of it. I love the floaty jump in the game. I loved how you could knock characters out of the ring or off the stage. And then I also liked the different characters you could unlock in the game, the silver metal character and the gold character. And just a lot of fun with Virtua Fighter. So I saw these figures. These are Figma figures. They were cheap and they're kind of like polygonal shaped. Like they look very much like the characters looked in the Sega Saturn game, with those kind of rough 3D graphics at the time. So wanted to pick those up kind of just as like a memory to my childhood. And I don't really collect figures at all. I have maybe like four or five. But I just thought these were too cool to pass up and a good memory for me because I had a lot of fun, as I mentioned, with Virtua Fighter 1 and 2. So if you've never played those games on the Sega Saturn, give those a try. I think I still find them fun. I still like to play them. So got that. And then I got one more. Haven't opened it up yet. Let's see if I can focus this. This is Snake, of course, from Metal Gear Solid 2. And I'm just a huge Metal Gear Solid fan all the way. Played all the games, beat all the games. So Solid Snake here, Metal Gear Solid 2 version. This is another Figma figure. And again, I haven't unboxed this, haven't opened it up yet. Gonna get to it eventually. I just don't know where I want to put it, what I want to do with it. But this is an awesome figure. What I love about this is the small details. So they actually have, the classic Metal Gear Solid cardboard box in here as a little item that you can set with the figure. So that's pretty cool. And just a lot of little, add-ons, attachments, and things like that for Solid Snake. So I'll throw up some pictures of what it looks like out of the box. But yeah, just a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, and I just wanted to have that. I want to put that somewhere on the shelf because I get a lot of joy from Metal Gear Solid, and personally, the first game's my favorite, the PS1 game. That's where it started for me, and I've enjoyed a lot of the games, but Metal Gear Solid 1, that's my favorite. So I don't know if they had the Metal Gear Solid 1 figure, but had to go with the Metal Gear Solid 2 figure here. So that's it in the figure department. And saving what I think might just be the best for last here, the vinyl record. One of the greatest RPGs of all time. One of my favorite RPGs. Classic RPG, classic artwork. And that is none other than the Chrono Trigger RPG here. So again, just a classic RPG. Try to focus this for you. Awesome artwork here on the cover. And what can I say? Just an absolute classic record here. Classic vinyl record. Haven't played it yet. I'm gonna play it tonight. Haven't even taken it out of the wrap here, but just so many classic songs on here. Such a great record. And if you didn't know about this, this was released not too long ago. Not sure if you can still pick them up. Assuming you can still get your hands on these. And if you're a fan of Chrono, might be something you're interested in, although it's not very cheap, I will say that, but a lot of these vinyl records never are. But take a look at that artwork. Just classic artwork on there. Again, a lot of good memories playing Chrono Trigger, and to have this in the collection, just couldn't pass up. They finally officially released a Chrono Trigger vinyl, so that's pretty cool. So that's it. Those are the latest pickups for me. Wanted to come on and share those with you guys, but let me know in the comments below. Are you into Figma figures at all? What do you think about them? What do you think about the Switch games I picked up, the Chrono Trigger vinyl? Do you have any memories of Chrono Trigger? Just classic RPG. Maybe one day we'll get a remake of Chrono Trigger. I don't think that's out of the cards. That could happen one day. So let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe for more, and have a good day.